Did you know that most of the scenes in the upcoming Avatar sequel are shot underwater and not recreated with CGI? James Cameron made the actors hold their breaths in huge water tanks to make the underwater scenes more believable. But for Zoe Saldaña, they were nothing short of terrifying. If you're curious to know what that was like, keep watching to find out what the actress had to say about it. First, here's why Zoe Saldaña was scared of shooting scenes underwater. Since Saldaña is a highly competitive actress, she felt compelled to tell her boss she would be able to do it. But when the time came, she was terrified. While she admitted taking up a challenge only helps you come out of it with a new skill, the prospect of holding her breath in water tanks was daunting to say the least. The upcoming prequel, Avatar: The Way of the Water, is a 3-hour movie exploring newer locations, wildlife, and most importantly, water. The oceans of Pandora are an essential part of the sequel. In the teaser alone, we've seen the characters swimming among beautiful aquatic life. James Cameron explained that he didn't want the scenes to look fake, so he arranged huge water tanks for his actors and also got a coach on board. Saldaña and the others were trained by one of the world's best specialists who teach people to hold their breath underwater. Despite having the best of the best coaches, the actors felt fear near the water, but she didn't want to give up. The star worked so hard that her highest record time for holding her breath clocked at 5 minutes. Cameron himself calls that pretty impressive. Saldaña shared that her ancestors lived on islands, but as is the case with most generations that come from such a lineage that was colonized, people no longer know how to swim. Her people use folktales to encourage a love for the ocean and view it as a godlike entity, but people like her still grow up being fearful of it. Next, Saldaña was impressed by the breath-holding records of other actresses on the cast. Kate Winslet surprised Saldaña and the rest of the crew when she held her breath for a complete 7 minutes while filming the upcoming prequel. Winslet not only shocked the director, but also herself. She didn't believe she could do it until she did. Cameron says Winslet prepares for her role like a demon. We believe him because, after watching some of her performances, it's pretty obvious that she's done her homework. Saldaña admitted that though she's a competitive actor, she didn't hold her breath the longest. It was, in fact, the Oscar-winning actress Kate Winslet who did. Albeit a newcomer to the franchise, Winslet proved to be one of the best on set. Cameron described her as a natural. Winslet plays Navi, a character that grew up underwater. Since the role required the actress to be calm underwater, Winslet prepared ahead with free diving to be more prepared for the role. Sigourney Weaver placed second because she held her breath for 6.5 minutes. The 73-year-old even surprised her instructor. It required immense discipline to do it. As Weaver tells it, they had to do everything to forget the human instinct to want to breathe and panic underwater. She would sing to herself and paint herself blue to convince her mind that she didn't need to breathe. All in all, we think it's a big achievement to get actors to perform their best underwater, an element that few of us are used to when it comes to holding our breath, let alone acting. Now, here's why it was so crucial for Cameron to have his actors work underwater. Cameron's #1 goal for the upcoming sequel was to do justice to the story he was telling. Since the story was sometimes underwater, he wanted it to be as believable as possible. This is why scenes from this film will look real instead of the ones we can expect to see from movies like The Little Mermaid, which rely on illusion to achieve the effect of being underwater. The director doesn't think it's hard science to understand why he'd make a choice like this. Cameron explains that to make a scene more believable, you need to make choices that make sense. He gives the example of shooting a Western. For a story like that, the obvious answer would be to make the actors learn how to ride horses. Similarly, since the upcoming Avatar sequel talks about being underwater, he asked the actors to learn to act underwater. Most actors in the film, like Saldaña and Weaver, weren't big sea people, but since Cameron explained the importance of understanding how to be one, they were quickly on board. It sure isn't easy to be an actor, but we appreciate the lengths they go to for us to enjoy film and TV. Avatar: The Way of the Water will soon release on December 16th, 2022. In a matter of months, we'll be able to see the fruit of the hard work that went into this sequel. We can't wait to see how shooting underwater translates the story on screen for our beloved characters. Moving on, Zoe Saldaña felt lost in the Pirates of the Caribbean with Johnny Depp. Early in her career, when Zoe Saldaña wasn't a blockbuster movie star, she got the chance to be cast alongside Johnny Depp in the Pirates of the Caribbean film. She was a fresh actor who was suddenly pushed into a set full of big names and multiple producers, and things didn't feel all that great for her. She played the role of a pirate smuggler in the movie. As Anna Maria was cast opposite Johnny Depp, who was playing Captain Jack Sparrow, Saldaña explained that when they were shooting the film, they had to constantly change locations, and at times, the circumstance and environment would clash with their shoot days. While playing the pirate that was supposed to be confronting Jack Sparrow for stealing her ship, she felt a little overwhelmed by the fast-paced nature of the production. While the franchise was arguably a big name to be associated with, Saldaña's experience was far from perfect. Since the actress was really young at the time, she played Anna Maria, working alongside so many stars stars and crew members felt too much for her to handle. The experience inevitably influenced her decision to turn down more sequels for the franchise. Constantly feeling lost while making the films didn't feel right to her. After all, you'd expect to have a pleasant time if you're working with big names in the industry, and if that doesn't happen, it can make an actor question their reason for being there. Next, here's what the Pirates of the Caribbean producer had to say to Saldaña. While Zoe Saldaña walked away from the Pirates of the Caribbean films, not feeling her best, one of the producers heard her comments and felt the need to say something. Jerry Bruckheimer was one of the producers of the franchise, while Saldaña was on set. After getting news of Saldaña's sentiments, he reached out to her to apologize for what she had experienced years later. The gesture moved the actress so much that she felt compelled to appreciate the producer because he had remembered something that happened years ago but still felt it was important to be addressed now. Taking accountability for Saldaña's experience on set made the star feel cared for in a way she did during the filming of those films. Bruckheimer expressed how much he had wished that people on his projects had a good time, and because of Saldaña's negative experience, he felt it was only right to apologize. Saldaña later explained that the producer's apology made her feel really good because it's so important to be seen not just as an actor, but also as a human being. Despite experiencing an overwhelming moment early in her career, Saldaña shows no signs of stopping and has achieved great success in most of the films she's worked on. Finally, post the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, Saldaña's career is looking bright. Very few people get over a major bad experience in life and still pursue the same skill. Luckily for Saldaña, she's one of those few. The actress didn't let her experience in the Pirates of the Caribbean movies deter her from working in big titles. She worked in significant blockbusters like Guardians of the Galaxy, Avatar, the Star Trek film series, Avengers, Endgame, etc. Recently, she's been working on a TV series, From Scratch, an adaptation of a best-selling memoir of a real-life author. The recently released series is all about love. It tells the story of an American student who has just arrived in Italy on a trip. The story becomes interesting when she begins to explore the arts and immediately finds the love of her life. If that sounds like your cup of tea, you can head to Netflix to watch it. Saldaña will also say goodbye to her character in the third volume of the Guardians of the Galaxy film. Talking about finishing work on her character, the actress expressed her sadness. She admitted that she's enjoyed playing Gamora a lot, but knowing that this would be the end of her ever playing Gamora again felt sad. She's been playing the character since 2014, but calls her inevitable departure a sweet goodbye. That's a wrap for this video. Are you excited to watch Saldaña acting underwater for Avatar: The Way of the Water? Let us know in the comments below. Give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.